Hamel? Here. Ms. Cristal? Here. Ms. C. Giovanni? Here. Ms. Hollenstadt? Here. Mr. Scher?
Here.
Mr. Sampone?
Here.
Mr. Toth?
Here.
Ms. Wojciech?
Here.
Ms. Calderon?
Here. Notice of the March 3rd, 2025 meeting of the Board of Education was emailed to the clerks of the boroughs of Essex Fells, North Caldwell, and Roseland, and to the Township of Fairfield, and to the editor of the Progress on January 7th, 2025, and the Star Ledger on the same day. Welcome, everyone. As of right now, I don't have anything specific as for comments or anything from the presidency, so we're going to go right into the superintendent's report.
My report tonight is provide an update to the board on our school start times. Last committee meeting. So good evening. Welcome, members of the public. Okay, so as you know, we have a process going on right now where we are looking at potentially changing the start time of our school day. So we've assembled a large committee of students, faculty, staff, board members, and parents, and we've had 2 meetings so far. We have established a web page on our district website on Friday. I did send an email blast out to the community, giving them access to that link. That link contains every letter that has gone out to the community regarding the process, meeting presentation notes, and most recently the survey results and links to sleep research. Okay, just a little bit of background data just so you can kind of get a sense of the enrollment in our district. And then I'm going to get into just sharing you a couple highlights from the slides, from the survey results. So the survey went to all of our pre-registered 6th graders in all 4 towns, so that's about 315 students. We have approximately 560 students in the middle school right now, grades 7 and 8, and approximately 1,060 students, grades 9 through 12. So the survey went to just under 2,000 people. Okay, if you take a look at this slide here, this will give you a breakdown of where the parent-guardian responses came from. We had 888 responses, which is about 46% of families, and you can see the breakdown pre-K through 6, grades 7 and 8, and grade 9 through 12. We had about 510 high school parents, 438 middle school parents, and 338 parents K through 6, and obviously some of those parents have students in multiple grade levels. Okay, this is just to give you a little breakdown of the percentage from every town. Okay, you can see that North Caldwell had about 37.5% of the responses, about 30% of the responses came from Fairfield, 22% from Roseland, and 10.4% from Essex Fells. That's almost very close to the makeup of our enrollment in our district. Okay, as far as our faculty and staff go, we had about 128 responses. You can see all the different departments. That's about a 50% response rate from faculty and staff, and that's across all departments: teachers, counselors, maintenance, buildings and grounds. And just for the record there, special services and math had the highest response rate of about 15.6%. Okay, these are the student results. Okay, we had 507 responses from grades 7 through 12. So we had about 31% of our students who responded to the survey. Interesting fact here is that the 8th graders were 24.7%. They were the biggest response to the survey. And here's the breakdown of response for students by town. North Caldwell at about 38.5%, Fairfield at about 29.6%, Roseland at 25%, and then Essex Fells at 6.7%. Again, pretty close to the same breakdown of our parent responses. Okay, now we had 3 full surveys, 1 to parents, 1 to students, and 1 to staff. I'm obviously not going to go through all those slides. They are available on the website if you want to see them. But I just pulled out a couple conclusions that kind of summarize some of the key points. What can we take away from the survey? So one of the biggest things here is that about 65% of all 3 stakeholder groups believe that a later start time would be a positive change for the community. Parent, guardians, and students report that students are not getting enough sleep. And according to the sleep research, teenagers need more than 8 hours of sleep. All 3 stakeholder groups believe that a later start time would improve students' mental health and well-being. A majority of all 3 stakeholder groups do not believe that after-school activities will be impacted by a later end time. And if you took the survey, you'll know that what we're talking about is a range no later than 5 or 10 minutes later than our current end time right now, which is 2:35. An overwhelming majority of all 3 stakeholder groups are fine with a schedule that would reduce instruction by 1 minute per block. They also would be fine with a reduction in the lunch block by no more than 5 minutes. And then to conclude here, all 3 stakeholder groups believe that a later start time has benefits, with a small number saying there would be no benefits. Further, most respondents in all 3 stakeholder groups believe there are no concerns with starting school later. So those are kind of the main points that I pulled out from all of the slides. So where do we go from here? Well, we're having our next meeting. It's tentatively scheduled for March 20th. We're in the process of creating a few different mock schedules, developing bell schedules that are within the parameters of everything that we talked about. And we're going to do somewhat of a transportation study, if you want to call it that. We really need to kind of see what the impact would be on the sending districts if the buses left here 5 or 10 minutes later after they drop our students off, or potentially what that might look like at the end of the day if we held our buses for 5 minutes or so and then let the buses go do their elementary runs. So, one of the biggest factors right now is transportation because of the shared services that we have with 3 of our sending districts. So that's kind of our update on school start times for now. Anybody have any questions? Okay, I'll turn it over to Mr. Walsh.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I just want to first off say hello to everybody and just thank you for the opportunity to present. Not only to present, our athletics, phys ed, and health, and our staff, but just thank you for the opportunity to take over this position. Although it's been only about a year now, really enjoying it. Made some great changes. I enjoy looking at the PE and health department, observing the teachers, seeing what they're doing in the class, but also enjoy really getting out to the fields and seeing our student athletes really succeed. Sadly to admit, I also enjoy Damien's Saturday and Sunday phone calls when weather's coming in. But it's been great. I'm under some great leadership, learned a lot, and just thank you for the opportunity. And it wouldn't mean anything without your support. So tonight I'm just here to present to the board, phys ed and health and athletics, some updates on what we've been doing. First off, in the first 2 slides, you'll see our high school team and then our middle school team. Overall, they have over 150 years teaching experience. So we've, either poached them from another school or kept them in district for a long time. They have a lot of experience, and they're a great staff to work with. There's our middle school team. So there's 9 at the high school, 4 at the middle school. As we know, our district goals are to, cultivate career readiness, real-world experiences, and also ensure a positive, inclusive climate and culture. Our department goal is to utilize intentional movement, facilitate learning so that students are actively engaged during instruction. I don't know how much more engaged you can get than a phys ed class. They're moving and grooving, all throughout the period, but we'll show you a couple of ways of how we're, completing these goals. So in terms of the first one, cultivating career readiness, In phys ed, we are back to taking common assessments. It's a big move. It's something that we haven't done in a couple years, but just learning the game, the games that they play, learning how to, have teamwork, face adversity, sportsmanship, all types of things that they're doing in their classroom, they're also taking assessments on. It wasn't a, great thing at the start. Students kind of, gave a little pushback. But I think as they move forward, watching, football with their family, they'll understand the rules of the game. They won't have to ask questions. Watching tennis on TV, they might not have questions. So just learning those rules, taking a test on it, not the end of the world, not meant to be like grade breakers, but just, gives them a little more education through phys ed. We're also engaging students in recreational activities every single day. These aren't games that they're meant to go to the college level for. It's games that prepare them for the future. Volleyball, pickleball, tennis, things that they can, backyard games, things that they're going to do at, a reunion party or something with the family where they feel comfortable throwing a bago or a frisbee back to somebody and not, scared that they're going to look silly. We also are learning how to maintain healthy lifestyles, both physically and mentally, as they prepare for life after high school. So, whether that's nutritionally or, just having the mental health awareness, they learn that through phys ed and health. The driver's ed and health curriculum is a little bit different. They only get one marking period for health or driver's ed. So we kind of split it up in 4 different marking periods. The first marking period, it's all 10th graders. Every single 10th grader takes driver's ed. They prepare for their driver's test. They actually take the test in the classroom. And in that first marking period, 99% of 10th grade students pass that driver's test, which is great. They don't have to go to the DMV, wait in lines. They're all ready to drive by their time they get their license, and that's all because of driver's ed that we offer. They learn the rules of the road. They, do all kinds of stuff in there. The 11th grade students, they are currently in marking period 3 getting certified in first aid, CPR, and AED skills. So if they're out on the field and somebody passes out, earlier this year, a football player down in South Jersey died because nobody knew where the AED was and nobody knew how to use it. So these students, they're paying the American Red Cross fee if they want to, $35, and they get certified in first aid, CPR, and AED. In 12th grade, they learn about budgeting and life skills. So I'll touch on this in a little bit, but they pretty much did a financial aid project, or a finance project, where it's, taking them through the next 4 years of college, helping them just be financially, stable, learning about budgeting, and learning about life skills that come after high school. In terms of ensuring a positive, inclusive school environment, as many other departments are doing, we also did a lesson in No Place for Hate. Both the middle school and high school classes watched a video on positive interactions. Students and staff kind of learned, triggers or warnings that somebody might be going through an HIB encounter, and they also learned how to anonymously report that. It could be themselves, it could be somebody that they're friends with. If they're going through something, they can now anonymously report it, and they can hopefully get the help that they need. Teachers and coaches, they're advocating for students and groups to meet heterogeneously. I was just having this conversation. Phys ed is one place where you have 40 students all in a classroom, all from different backgrounds, all diverse. It's not the AP physics, it's not resource math. They are all in class together. They learn about sportsmanship, camaraderie. It's a class where they really get to meet their peers, learn from their peers, and build that teamwork and positive atmosphere. In terms of athletics, we hold the SEC Leadership Conference, so that's the Super Essex Conference. We've had a different group of guest speakers. We hold one in the summer, one in the fall, one in the spring, one in the winter. Speakers come in, they talk about their life, their experiences. All the captains get to go to that. They all talk about HIB and bullying and how that's led them to where they are. Some of our speakers were David Tyree, John Paul Gonzalez, you might know him from the All In guy from the Giants, and Quintus McDonald, who actually graduated from Montclair and was more than willing to come back and talk about his experience, just bringing everybody together. This is a picture. So that's 25 different districts all throughout Essex County, all come to West Essex once every season, and we host. In terms of our department goal, intentional movement, teachers go through professional development. They discuss their common assessments, their lesson plans. How can we get kids up and moving in health and phys ed, and just how we can improve our curriculum moving forward. Promoting social and emotional learning through physical activities that require teamwork, strategy, and problem solving. That's a big one. I feel like problem solving, kids just want things done, but they don't actually, know how to solve the problem. So just teaching them how to work through the strategies of getting that done. Implementing movement breaks in health classes. I'll show you a video where our PE classes and health classes actually had to create their own dance, get up and moving, or body weight exercises just to reset focus and energy levels. And then students also, mostly at the middle school, learn how to track their heart rate and understand cardiovascular health by doing push-ups, sit-ups, yoga, pull-ups, anything like that, so that they're staying healthy there. So here's just a couple samples of student work. We have one of our teachers actively playing in the gym, getting involved. We have some of our adapted PE classes. They go down to Excel and learn about staying healthy down there. And, just a health lesson that's up on the board. But let's see if this video will play. So this is just every phys ed class had to make up their own dance. They were on a count. It was one of their projects. So you can see they're all just taking pride in it. They're enjoying it, getting together. And again, some of those kids might not have a single other class together, but in that period, they get to work together. And now on to athletics. Obviously something I'm very passionate about, but #1 best school in the county for student athletes. That was the niche ranking for 2025. Something to be very proud of. There's a lot of accomplishments that I'm going to list here just for the 2025 season. And obviously it's still a work in progress, but just looking forward to continuing the excellence, not only in the classroom, but athletics-wise as well. So, I don't know, Dave, can you click on that link? So one of the big things this year was our new website. So if you go to our homepage, and you go to activities, there's a sports-specific website now. It's westessexnights.com, but it's all of our schedules, live streams, scores, all the coaching directories, all the schedules, everything's up to date. And just here's some of the accomplishments on the home screen that I'm going to talk about in a minute, but a lot of success in the athletic world just for 2025. So, I'm just going to go through this quick. Some of the things that we've accomplished in the fall, field hockey, shocker, state champs, Group 2. They also had numerous award winners. They had girls on the All-American team. They had girls all-division, all-conference. The awards go on and on and on. Again, it's all on the website if you wanted to take a look at it. Football division champs. Coach Benaquista did become the winningest coach in West Essex history. I believe he's at 115 now. Brady Phillips was also named the Super Football Conference Young Man of the Year. Girls volleyball won the division. Girls cross country won the division. Middle school girls soccer won that's the Greater Morris County Junior School Coaches Association. So that's the division that we're in for all the middle school. Even though it's Morris County, we play in that division. They won the championship. In the winter alone, middle school boys and basketball won their championship. Colin Fogg set a new school record in the 55-meter. He was also the Racine Invitational Award winner. It was like the most outstanding runner at that tournament. Reed Clausey won the Essex County Wrestling Championship at 144 pounds. Isabella Soon was an individual qualifier for state fencing. She placed just this past weekend 9th out of 40 girls in fencing. Keegan Schmidt was qualified for the Special Olympics Winter Games. District 4 wrestling champions was Nick Bastante, Reed Clausey, Ben Marquise, and Carmine Massey. 3 of those 4 are also going to Atlantic City this weekend with the addition of DJ Fiore. He placed in regions. So you have to finish in the top 4 of your entire region. We had a very difficult region this year, and we're sending 4 student athletes to Atlantic City, which is amazing. Girls basketball will compete tomorrow in the state semifinal, and unfortunately ice hockey lost today at 4 o'clock to Kinnelon. So tough one, but they had a great season. They made it to the semifinal. And then Sasha Resnick is the first student athlete in West Essex history to have 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. 1,000 points is something to definitely stand out, but 1,000 rebounds is even crazier. 1,000 points, you can score 2, you can score 3. 1,000 rebounds, you only counts as 1. So big accomplishment for her. And just next, we just have a couple of pictures. Here's field hockey winning their state championship. Football. So that was when he was the winningest coach at 114. I believe he won one more game after that, so he's at least 115. Girls volleyball, Liberty Division champs. Girls cross country, division champs. Here is girls middle school field hockey and girls soccer middle school. Boys basketball, girls basketball at the middle school, also champions. Reed Clausey winning the district, so there was 22 teams. He came in first at 144 pounds. And then these were all our place winners, all of our champions actually. So Ben was 157, Carmine at 175, Reed again on the right side 144, and Nick Bastante at 132. Here is Colin C.J. Fogg, Isabella Soon, and Keegan Schmidt, all doing great things. And then we also had some college signings. So Anthony Drago is going to Duke. Ben Mattiucci is going to Rome City in Rome. It's great. I was getting to travel over there, play soccer there. Sophia Cisco is playing field hockey at Boston College. Ava Russo is playing field hockey at Dartmouth. And we have at least four coming up in the spring. It'll be April 16th is the next signing day. Brady Phillips for football at Middlebury, Yeshua Quello, Wilkes-Barre football, Mikey Sarasano, Muhlenberg, and then Chris Morano going for baseball at Cade. And just to give you a couple stories, so these are all students that I've had in the past that are also in the realm of phys ed and health. So Rachel Rodriguez was a graduate in 2017. She studied exercise science and nutritional health. One of the big things that she pointed out was a lot of the people in her college didn't have access to food nutrition and what she really was interested in when she was going to college. But she got that experience through cooking and sports and nutrition classes here at West Essex, which led her on to, she was at VCU, and now she's actually going to Central Florida, where she's going to be the Associate Director of Sports Nutrition there. And my last slide is Bart Ogashi. Not only was he the Student Council President, but he went on to Colgate University, where he played football, Masters in Secondary Education, Social Studies, but he's taking his time off right now, and he's going into the NFL draft and trying to go to the Combine. So I actually saw him the other day at Wawa. So, wish you all the best of luck. We're all thinking about you. We all support you, but if you ever want a job, come on back. And that is it for me.
Thank you.
Hand it over. You got it.
It's hard to go after sports.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Okay. First, want to bring everyone up to speed with our 8th grade trip. So one of our district goals, but certainly at the middle school, is to increase student voice, empower our students to kind of dictate and kind of give us ideas of what they would like to do. So we heard a lot about the middle school students wanting a dance. So we tried to we've been working with Student Council to try and make that happen. In past years, we have gone on this city cruise, but we're really trying to remarket it. You probably remember that. Was that before? Was that after your time? Okay. So we've done a city cruise, but we're really trying to promote it and do it differently this year and make it more in line with what the kids want. So student council has sent out multiple surveys to the student body. So recently they selected a theme. They want to do a luau theme, kind of with a tropical dress code. They're going to kind of create a playlist, if possible, that we can give to the DJ to encourage kids to get on the dance floor, have a photo booth. And there are 2 dance floors on the actual cruise. There's 2 levels. So we're trying to do everything we can to kind of remarket this cruise and make it everything that the student body wants. So I think student council and the kids are really excited about this. So this just came out last week. So we're super excited, and I'll keep you posted on that. Okay, we want to congratulate some different recognitions and honors at the middle school. Rogate placed second in the Essex County Interpretive Forensics Competition on January 14th. There was math games and quizzes and chess matches and things of that nature. The kids were so excited when they got back into the building, as were their advisors, Miss Jing, who kind of works in both buildings, as well as Miss Torres. So we just want to congratulate our forensics team, our Rogate team. Also, a special congratulations to Math Counts. They finished 12th in their North Central Jersey competition back on February 1st. That was at Montville High School. Some of our students here were Giovanni Vigilante, Arnav Jadov, Max Trespala, Naveen Vyas, and Tyler Rapp. Tyler also had a great individual performance with a ranking of 39th out of 230 competitors in the individual sprint round. So that's Math Counts. We have some music recognitions. Congratulations to our Honor Music Ensemble musicians. A huge congratulations to Olivia Chen, Ileana Gutman, Vanessa Stefanakis, and Alexa Zach for successfully auditioning for Honor Music Ensembles. Olivia will represent us at the Intermediate Region Band Festival at Randolph High School. Ileana, Vanessa, and Alexa will showcase their talents with the Intermediate Region Choir at Clifton High School, and Alexa has also earned a prestigious spot in the New Jersey Junior High All-State Choir Ensemble. So we're super proud of our musicians. I wanted to kind of show you our esports room. It's not quite up to the same speed as the high school, but you know, we are a middle school, so we have some painted walls, new facilities, new furniture. The kids are super excited, so I want to thank Melissa and the board for supporting this project. It certainly has been something unique for some students who maybe aren't into traditional sports. And again, you may recall that esports came about from student surveys, and this was something that the student body really wanted. So we're happy that this has been off the ground this year and happy that they kind of have a home base. And it was mentioned by Tim, but congratulations to boys and girls basketball for our winter season, for winning their tournaments. I was at both games. They're nail biters. It was a lot of fun. Clicker's a little bit slow. And lastly, Read Across Americas this week. If you recall, if you have any elementary school kids, our We Lead peer leaders, we started this last year, go back to their respective elementary schools and read to the younger kids. It's an amazing day where our middle school students get to see their elementary teachers, and everyone's so excited to see them. They always say how small the halls look, and I tell them that's just because they're so much bigger now. But today was our first day. We were in Roseland, and you can kind of see the group of girls up there. So we'll go to each school over the course of the next 3 days. So that's a really fun week for us as well. So that's all I have for you at the middle school. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening. Okay, so in line with our district goal of real-world learning experiences for our students, I just wanted to share that our financial accounting honors 1 and 2 students went on a field trip to Premio Foods, where they got to speak with the owner, Mark Sinkyu, and they got to talk about supply chain management, cost analysis, material sourcing, view the facilities, tour the facilities, and it was a really positive experience. I think they even came home with some sausage sandwiches, so and all in all, it was a great day for them. And then we had a guest speaker come and visit our architectural design honors classes. Mr. Frank Kuna III, who's a renowned practicing architect in the tri-state area. And in his presentation, he talks about the different projects he's worked on, but really focused on like the skills that the students are learning in architectural design, like critical thinking, problem solving, and design thinking skills, how these skills would carry them into any field they go into later in life. So he really brought it to them and made it meaningful for the students. I'm proud to share that we received our results from the Seal of Biliteracy assessment that our students took. So we had 45 of our seniors achieve the Seal of Biliteracy, and they'll receive that certificate in June. Two of our seniors had it in 2 languages. So Samantha Kopek achieved it in Polish and Spanish. Sophia LaHue achieved it in Italian and Portuguese. And one of our seniors achieved it in 3 languages, Miss Isabella Lima, in French, Portuguese, and Spanish. So we're really proud of our seniors. We also had 24 of our juniors pass the assessment to qualify for the Seal of Biliteracy for next year. So it was a huge accomplishment and a testament to our world language program. Oh, sorry, went too fast. One second when I get back to where we are. Thank you, Dave, for coming through. I'm not sure if that was a technology issue or a user error. And I am excited to share that Alexander Bajani is the valedictorian for the class of 2025, and Emily Dime is our salutatorian. They have worked really hard, and we're really proud of both Alex and Emily. So kudos to them. For our extracurriculars, I know Mr. Walsh spoke about Sasha Resnick for girls basketball being our first athlete in West Essex history to reach 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. As someone who's watched a significant amount of basketball this season for my children, the 1,000 rebounds is super impressive. And that's not even really her position. Like when you watch her play, that's not really where she's supposed to be. So that was really a huge accomplishment for Sasha. And I hope you guys can all come out and make the spring musical, The Wizard of Oz. It's the weekend of March 13th to the 15th. Those 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, are at 7 p.m. But what they've done differently this year, and we're really proud of this, is on the matinee performance on March 15th is a sensory-friendly show. So if you have children or people in your life that lights and music just might be too much for them, bring them to the matinee. They'll be sure to enjoy it. For Culture and Climate, we had our No Place for Hate digital footprints lessons in the math classes back in February. Again, I think I spoke about this in February, but we had the lessons. They were great. The students engaged in some really productive conversations about being intentional online and like what they post and what they really want to present to the world from about their online presence, building a positive presence, and staying informed when using the internet. I know that this lesson is really important because we do place electronics and social media in the palms of teenagers who don't have fully developed brains, sometimes don't think about the consequences, but we are having the conversations and the education about making responsible decisions. And we're also in the middle of our We Compliment You project. This was our first year last year doing this, and it was really successful and a moment many of our students spoke highly of. Students and staff members can send anonymous messages to each other, and later in March, one morning, everyone's going to come into work, school, and every single person in the building will have a message from someone anonymously, some sort of compliments, highlighting something positive about them. And it just speaks to the culture and climate of our building. And finally, what we have coming up this Wednesday, hopefully you guys can make our Night of Knowledge. Doors open at 6 p.m. The first session starts at 6:30, and the first session is a panel discussion that includes students, parents, and staff members about the digital divide and how students want more time on electronics, parents are trying to control it, and kind of just having an open dialogue about this concept and this idea. This stems from our Culture and Climate Committee, and so we're really excited for this Night of Knowledge. After that panel discussion, there are 4 workshop sessions that people can choose from. So if you're around, please stop by on Wednesday night. Thursday night, we have the freshman semi-formal where our 9th graders will get dressed up and have a nice night of dinner and dancing at the Hanover Manor. And then next week, our juniors are testing for the NJGPA. This is the graduation requirement assessment on Tuesday and Wednesday of March 11th and 12th. And that concludes my report for this evening.
have a committee report. The policy committee met on January 28th. In attendance was myself, John Toth, Alicia Amel, Deb Calderon, and Damien Michochi. We reviewed 7 policies that are on the agenda tonight for approval. They're all mandated policies. So the first 4 that I'm going to mention are all fall within the scope of our memorandum of agreement with law enforcement. First one is policy 5512, it's HIB. The policy provides guidance on reporting HIB to law enforcement. When a school district must stay and pause their investigation to allow law enforcement to conclude their investigation. This we already do, but it's mandated now. Policy 5533, student smoking policy, requires school districts to report the use or seizure of electronic smoking devices to law enforcement when they're suspicious of a controlled substance. And there may be required, they may require students to participate in additional educational programs. Policy and Regulation 7441, electronic surveillance in school buildings, on school grounds. Under the Memorandum of Agreement, it allows law enforcement to activate the surveillance camera equipment for live streaming video during an emergency event. Policy and Regulation 9320, cooperation with law enforcement agencies. This policy gives school districts the option to designate a law enforcement agency for their district. We don't have to participate in this because we have local law enforcement who take care of our situations. Policy 5460, high school graduation policy. This policy requires parents to complete a financial aid form like the FAFSA form as a prerequisite to receiving your high school diploma. So there's no opting out of it. You must fill out this financial aid form. The policy also got rid of any reference to park testing, which is no longer. Policy 9500, food service. This policy revised the definition of who is eligible. It includes homeless, migrant, foster, runaway children, or any child receiving assistance under the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. And then the last policy we reviewed was policy 9163, Spectator Code of Conduct for interscholastic events. This is mandatory, but this is a new one. All the other policies were just revised. This is a new policy. The state adopted a new policy that outlines the removal or suspension from school events. The policy outlines the discipline levels to include a first offense, 1 home event suspension, second offense, 30 days suspension, third offense, 90 days suspension, and then a person who is suspended more than 3 events in 365 days of a calendar will be required to complete an educational component as determined by the principal or designee before they are permitted to attend any future home events. And that's it. You're welcome.
Board comments about policy? Did we see student board rep? Oh, okay, sorry. I tried before.
I think one of them just was.
That's what you have to say. Everything that's going on. But aside from that, Emily, do they have to say anything about the start? Because you do attend those, right?
Yeah, most kids are seniors, don't really care, but younger kids, they're hoping that it's happening as soon as possible because they want to sleep in. So, yeah.
Thank you for attending them. I know you as well. Okay, at this time, I will open the floor to the public for comments on agenda items only. So anything that is currently in our agenda, on our agenda, please feel free to walk up to the podium. With that being said, we will go on to our motions, our finance rep, please.
Okay. The following finance motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda, items 1 through 13, will be voted upon in one motion. And I so move.
Second.
Ms. Emo?
Yes.
Ms. Criswell? Ms. Giovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Halstat?
Yes.
Mr. Scher?
Yes.
Mr. Sampone?
Yes.
Mr. Toth?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Building and grounds, Lila, please.
Yes, ma'am. The following building and grounds motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools and be placed on this agenda. Item 1, will be voted upon in one motion, and I so move.
Second.
Any questions?
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. Giovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Halstat?
Yes.
Mr. Scher?
Yes.
Mr. Sampone?
Yes.
Mr. Toth?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Curriculum and special ed, Ruth, please.
The following curriculum special education motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed in this agenda, items 1 through 6, will be voted upon in one motion, and I so move.
Second.
Comments, concerns?
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. Giovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Halstat?
Yes.
Mr. Scher?
Yes.
Mr. Sampone?
Yes.
Mr. Toth?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. John?
The following personnel motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda, items 1 through 8, will be voted upon. Motion, and I so move.
Second.
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. Giovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Halstat?
Yes.
Mr. Scher?
Yes.
Mr. Sampone?
Yes.
Mr. Toth?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Alicia, miscellaneous, please.
Yes, the following miscellaneous motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda, items 1 to 4, will be voted upon in one motion. I so motion.
Okay. Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. Giovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Halstat?
Yes.
Mr. Scher?
Yes.
Mr. Sampone?
Yes.
Mr. Toth?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Okay. At this time, we, board will be opening up the floor for public comments, which can be anything which is not on the agenda. Please step up to the podium, give your name, address, clear enough so that we can take it down. Anything that you are group affiliation. Your statements will be limited to 3 minutes in duration, and the board will, of course, consider your comments as they relate to its obligations to effectively govern the West Essex School District.
Hi, I'm Kieran Keaveney. I'm a Roseland resident. Do you need my exact address?
Yes.
Yep. 132 Liberty Way, Roseland, New Jersey, 07068. Email and phone number. You need that? No, we're good?
Just bank account number.
Okay. That's bank account numbers. There's a finance person, I think, right? So I do see with 2 weeks to go, the school has properly decorated for St. Patrick's Day. Coming from an Irishman, I really appreciate that. So I'd like to thank the members of the Board of Education for some time tonight to go through some items. My agenda is really towards the Science Department, specifically AP Physics 1. During the fall of 2024, I became aware that the class was significantly behind in its progress of the 8-unit curriculum. In mid-November, the classes were still on Unit 1 of Units 8. Mrs. Keaveney and I sent messages to Mr. Lerner, the head of the Science Department, after several emails with Mr. Lerner, including one in which he told us that the class was not behind, that parents and students needed to understand what they can and cannot control, and that the students need to do their best and let the chips fall where they may. We had a phone call with him regarding the change in teachers, and that the previous teaching methodology was a bit different and that the new teacher needed to be aware of it. The statement that the class was not behind is categorically false, and there is no ambiguity in that fact. We agreed to let the new teacher have some time and to follow up. The classes fell further behind, prompting us to request an in-person conference with the teacher, the science supervisor, the principal, and the superintendent of the district. All attended, including the student, except for the superintendent. We were told that the new teacher has absolutely no experience in high school, and that the new teacher is only one of 2 applicants. It's evident in the teaching of the classes that our daughter completely agrees with that assessment. At the time of the meeting, the classes were a further 2 weeks behind. As of today, March 3rd, a full 6 months into the school year, the class has just started Unit 3 of 8 units. It is clear that the principle of supply and demand should have been adhered to, and that the offered salary been adjusted to get more applicants, speaking from finance. My understanding is that the administration is now only meeting separately with the parents of at least 4 students and has taken the situation more seriously. Over 3 months since I first brought this to Mr. Lerner Mr. Masochi is now taking meetings with parents, and we have made it known that we not only contacted the Board of Education, but we're going to speak publicly. The class we are talking about is the hardest class in West Essex, and its students are probably some of the district's sharpest minds. This is not my estimation. This is something that was told to me by Dr. Westervelt and Mr. Lerner. What has the administration done to resolve the failure? They've organized an online learning tutor. And who is the school's representative for the program? The same teacher with no high school teaching experience. From what I'm told, some of the sharpest students in the classes have now taken to using online resources to learn the subjects, including my own daughter. Other students are now asking them for help, as the teacher seems to be unable to communicate properly with students, whether verbally or in writing. And there was another issue over the weekend that I'm not going to bring up. I've mentioned it to Dr. Westervelt. The school needs to do more than abandon its children to a website, putting the onus on young students, young teenagers to succeed. If online sole study is the direct of this district, why do our children need to attend school at all? I respectfully ask that the board look into the matter and make proper changes to the supervisory roles in the district and ensure that the supervisors are properly doing their jobs. Sincerely, Kieran Keegan.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming up.
I'm sorry to bother you on the weekend, by the way.
It's okay. Mr. Machocha bothered me. As I said to you in my emails and all of those who have sent me emails, I appreciate your concern. It has been brought to the attention of the board members here. The administration is thoroughly involved, and we appreciate that fact that you take the time and the effort and the interest in your students and bring it to our attention, because sometimes we don't know what's going on specifically, and we do appreciate hearing from every parent. And we do appreciate that this administration is now taking efforts and going forward to help the students meet with success.
Well, I do appreciate that too.
That's what well, I know Mr. Machochi has met with parents today,
And tomorrow.
We want. Are you tomorrow morning?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. I would say to bring some donuts, maybe. But we want you to know that we're all in this effort with you together. Everything has been recognized. The administration understands everything, and the administration is doing everything in their efforts to help your students become successful and to continue.
So if you don't mind, as you can see you probably don't have this many people usually at a meeting.
No.
So it's become a very serious matter, and that's very concerning. The parents here, our children have come to us. My 16-year-old daughter has come to me asking me for help, and it's a girl that doesn't ask for help. She is very mature and does things on her own and likes to do things on her own. She's come to me several times asking for help. What do I do as a father? Ignore her? Tell her to let the chips fall where they may and let you do your job? This is why I keep elevating it and I keep on. I don't necessarily know that there is something that can be done to get the students through the AP exam this year, and it's sad because you have some of the brightest kids in that class. And I don't know, other parents may speak, but my daughter is going to struggle maybe for a long time because of the ineffectual teaching of the teacher and the changes that went on. And I thank you for your time very much.
She's very lucky to have you to advocate for her.
Yeah, she might not think so.
She will someday. Is there anyone else that we can help? Please just give your name and address.
Agnieszka Goliotto, 14 Bates Drive in Fairfield. So my daughter is in 11th grade, and she's a part of AP Physics 1 as well. You heard what our concerns are. I met with Mr. Maciocci and Mr. DiLiberto today, and I thank you for your time and explanations and all that. I also met numerous times, and I spoke to numerous times with Dr. Westerveld. So they're well aware of the problem, and I'm glad that you are now aware of that as well. I just would like to point one thing, because it is really concerning. So while the tool that we're trying to institute, and I voice my opinion as well in our meeting, while the tool that, I'm sorry, somebody left the phone here. While the tool that we're trying to now institute in the classroom is what it is and probably what it must be in order to get our students up to speed, I want you to all understand that out of 8 units of the course of AP Physics 1, they have to go in 2 months over 6 units of that course. That results in 3 times the speed. So let it sink in. This is the most difficult course of high school. Already very rigorous schedule and course load, now going to be presented to our children at 3 times the speed. This is my concern. This is not the speed that it's even required of college students. I just let this speak for itself. Okay?
Thank you. We do appreciate your concern, and we are taking all of this into account and supporting our administrators.
These are the students who will be applying to colleges or apply to colleges who will now ask for their GPAs.
We understand.
This is really, really concerning. So I hope that when we raise concerns again, if there arise due to the speed of this course, our concerns will be really we will be listened to. There was nothing wrong our children did. There was really nothing wrong, and they're the ones who are being punished. So 3 times the speed of a normal class, that is the hardest course in classroom. I just wanted to make that a point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Matt Bonneguide. My daughter's a junior. I'm in Caldwell, 17 Prospect Street, apartment 17A. If you're going to drop off brownies, that's great. That's what I prefer. But formerly from Roseland. Kieran and I coached many years, many of these kids, many kids not in this AP Physics class. He was the bad cop. I am the not so bad cop, but this has gotten my blood a little riled. Much like you said about his daughter, my youngest, I have 2 others that went through this school. My youngest is not one to complain about school. She complains about me all the time, but that's a whole other matter. She came to me and my ex-wife, and she was very concerned about this program, AP Physics. She was saying various things. I won't repeat them all here. You guys have heard from some of the other parents here tonight. But I do just want to echo what's been said. The speed at which our concerns were addressed was very lackluster, very slow. In the last week alone, we've seen those efforts pick up, so we appreciate that very much. We had some emails last night. I don't know if you're watching the Oscars or not, but I wasn't, but we were emailing last night. So, this is, in my opinion, a training issue. Dr. Ali was not given the tools to succeed that he should have been given. I recognize that maybe people didn't know that going into it, but looking back, hindsight's always 20/20, and hopefully this is a learning that the department can take forward to the maybe successor. We don't want anybody losing jobs. We don't want anybody doing that, but we do want people to be able to be held accountable, to be trained, and let's face it, these kids, as Kieran and Agnes both said, these are bright-minded kids. My daughter's so much smarter than I ever was. I never made it through Algebra 2. So trying to do an at-home thing with physics, way beyond my pay grade. Her mom, maybe a little bit, but this is something that it's going to impact her. And she doesn't want to fail. She doesn't want to feel like a failure, but she's being set up to feel that way because she was not provided the tools needed, much like Dr. Ali. I think that's all I wanted to say, because you guys pretty much covered everything else. But I do want to thank the teachers, the administration, for taking their time and meeting with us. I'm sure it's not easy hearing all these things and asking to be accountable for your staff, but we do appreciate it. And I think that's all I got to say. Thanks. Well, I'm only running out of here because my other daughter's birthday is tonight.
I was waiting. You had that look.
Prepared remarks. It was just one comment on the go forward. Sean Jacobs, 34 Fox Run. No.
He
30
was taking
seconds.
some of your time that you took advantage of.
I don't want to rehash what's already been said. A lot of valid points. Thank you for all that you do, and to the administration. Just one point. My daughter had mentioned that she was not selecting AP Physics 2. So it's not about only what has taken place, but about the go forward. And I'm sure that there are things in the works and actions will be taken, whatever, to correct or to whatever's decided. And I guess the only thing I would ask for is that whereas her schedule is set for next year minus AP Physics 2, which she wanted to take, but her concerns were that she didn't want to risk taking a class that would result in what happened this year. Obviously, the last 2 years have been a little bit difficult in the science program. No fault of administration necessarily, just whatever has happened, but last year there was the chemistry teacher, and there was basically no learning for 2 months then. Clearly, what's been stated about the chapters and whatever have you, it's difficult to make up the time. The kids are mostly juniors, I guess some seniors, and obviously everybody knows what happens in junior year. There's just zero time. So when it's said that the resources are available, then and considerable time is going to be needed to fill in the gaps, well, the time really isn't there. I can't ask my daughter to take, as a junior, Calc 3, AP Physics, a few other APs, and whatever have you, and say, well, put in the 26th hour of the day. So anyway, well, I'm concerned about the go forward, and if students can change their schedules maybe in the near future, or once something's determined, or not, just some kind of feedback as to where things are going with the science program, so decisions can be made around that. 3 minutes? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. It's nice to hear.
The board and the administration just want to thank you for coming out and voicing your opinions and your concerns. We're always here to support you. You're always welcome to come here and share those things with us. You have to understand that we do operate under policies, so there are certain things that we are not allowed to discuss in public, but we are always here to hear, and we always take that back to close doors and have discussion. You will have dialogue going forward between now and whatever decision is rendered from the administration. They're here to support you, and they will make sure that they communicate with you and that you will know, and your children will feel more secure going forward. We'll try everything, and, you know, as they say, we have to work together as a group. You know, there's no definite 100% answer to any of this, but we're, you know, the administrators and Mr. Machochi are here to make sure that your children are successful. So just please understand that we're looking into everything, and this board supports your concerns. And thank you for coming out tonight. We appreciate it. Sure.
I just want to say how incredibly nice it is. It's usually us and like big balls, and that's it. And I just, as Deb said, your voice is really better, and so it's very, very nice to see you. But I also really would encourage everybody to keep coming to the extent that you can to meetings and speaking, or not listening, or providing feedback, because school's only better when every stakeholder participates in public meetings and conversations. So thank you guys very much. We hear everything you're saying.
There being no further business before this Board of Education, be it resolved that this public meeting be adjourned at 8:35. Motion to adjourn?